Climate change and coastal ecosystem services. Climate change and coastal ecosystem services. The Earth's climate is undergoing rapid and profound changes due to human activities, with far-reaching consequences for various ecosystems. Coastal ecosystems, in particular, are extremely vulnerable to these changes, and the services they provide to both nature and human communities are at risk. Coastal ecosystem services, a precious resource. Coastal ecosystems encompass a diverse range of habitats, including mangroves, seagrasses, salt marshes, and coral reefs, each contributing to a variety of valuable services. These services can be divided into four main categories: provisioning services, regulating services, cultural services, and supporting services. Provisioning services encompass the tangible benefits that humans directly obtain from coastal ecosystems. These include fisheries, which provide a substantial portion of global protein intake, and aquaculture, a growing industry that relies on healthy coastal environments. Additionally, coastal areas often serve as tourism hotspots, generating revenue from recreational activities like beachgoing, snorkeling, and diving, all of which contribute to local economies. Regulating services involve the role coastal ecosystems play in maintaining a balanced environment. Mangroves and seagrasses act as natural buffers against storms and tidal surges, reducing the impacts of erosion and flooding on coastal communities. These habitats also serve as carbon sinks, helping to mitigate the effects of climate change by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Cultural services are non-material benefits that people derive from coastal ecosystems. Many coastal cultures are deeply intertwined with their local environments, relying on these ecosystems for spiritual, aesthetic, and recreational purposes. Coastal landscapes often hold cultural and historical significance, fostering a sense of identity and belonging for nearby communities. Supporting services are the foundation of all other ecosystem services, including nutrient cycling, soil formation, and primary production. These services maintain the health and functionality of coastal ecosystems, which in turn support the various benefits they provide to humans. The impact of climate change on coastal ecosystems. Climate change poses a significant threat to the stability and sustainability of coastal ecosystems, ultimately endangering the services they provide. One of the most immediate and visible impacts is the rise in sea levels. As temperatures increase, polar ice melts, and seawater expands, coastal areas are facing more frequent and severe flooding. This can lead to the loss of habitats, displacement of communities, and increased vulnerability to storm surges. Warmer temperatures also contribute to coral bleaching, a phenomenon where corals expel the symbiotic algae that provide them with nutrients and color. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, are vital for fisheries, tourism, and coastal protection. Their decline has far-reaching consequences, impacting not only marine biodiversity but also the livelihoods of millions of people. Ocean acidification is another consequence of climate change, as the oceans absorb excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Acidification can harm shellfish and other marine organisms that rely on calcium carbonate to build their shells and skeletons. This disruption of marine food chains can have cascading effects throughout coastal ecosystems. Adaptation and mitigation strategies. Addressing the challenges posed by climate change to coastal ecosystems requires a combination of adaptation and mitigation strategies. Adaptation involves making changes to systems and practices to reduce vulnerability and increase resilience to climate impacts. For coastal ecosystems, this might include restoring and protecting habitats like mangroves and wetlands that act as natural buffers against storms and flooding. Mitigation, on the other hand, focuses on reducing the root causes of climate change, primarily greenhouse gas emissions. Integrated Coastal Zone Management, ICZM. By bringing together various stakeholders including governments, communities, and industries, ICZM aims to develop strategies that safeguard both ecosystem health and human well-being. Conclusion. Climate change poses an existential threat to coastal ecosystems and the vital services they provide. From buffering against storms to providing livelihoods for millions, these ecosystems are indispensable to human societies around the world. It is imperative that we recognize the urgency of addressing climate change and its impacts on coastal areas. The time to act is now, for the sake of our planet, our oceans, and the generations to come. Innovative approaches for coastal resilience. As the challenges of climate change intensify, innovative solutions are emerging to help enhance the resilience of coastal ecosystems and the services they provide. These solutions often combine scientific research, technological advancements, and community engagement to create a more sustainable and adaptable future. 1. Nature-based solutions, NBS. Nature-based solutions involve using natural processes and ecosystems to address environmental challenges. These solutions leverage the power of nature to provide a range of benefits. For coastal areas, NBS might include restoring mangrove forests, creating artificial reefs, and implementing dune stabilization projects. These interventions not only enhance coastal protection but also contribute to biodiversity conservation and carbon sequestration. 2. Blue carbon initiatives. Coastal ecosystems, particularly mangroves, seagrasses, and salt marshes, are highly effective at capturing and storing carbon dioxide. Blue carbon initiatives focus on preserving and restoring these habitats to mitigate climate change. By protecting these ecosystems, we can harness their potential to sequester carbon, improving the health of the environment while providing valuable ecosystem services. 3. Climate-resilient infrastructure. Incorporating climate resilience into coastal infrastructure is crucial for safeguarding communities against the impacts of climate change. Green infrastructure, such as living shorelines and oyster reefs, can be integrated into coastal development plans to provide natural protection against erosion and flooding. Additionally, innovative engineering designs can create more adaptive infrastructure, such as buildings that can withstand storm surges and rising sea levels. 4. Community engagement and local knowledge. Coastal communities often have valuable traditional knowledge about their local environments and the best ways to adapt to changing conditions. Engaging with these communities and incorporating their insights into decision-making processes can lead to more effective and locally relevant solutions.